So just give us a couple seconds here. We've got a little intro song. It's probably way before your time because I'm old. I'm the oldest one here. But back when I was a kid, there was this show on TV that was called This Week in Baseball. You waited until the newspaper to find out all the stats, or you waited really a week to find out anything that happened. It was moderated. Saturday mornings, and it was just like the highlight clips. So basically, sports web gems before web gems existed, basically. Long story short, but that our theme song is based on that. So it's sort of just youthful thing for Matt and I on that. But all right, so we'll get going. All right. Welcome to This Week in Fast Pitch, the podcast that keeps you up to date on the latest news, insights, and analysis from the world of fast pitch softball. Powered by SixFour3, we bring you the stories behind the scores, the personalities behind the players, and the strategies behind the game. Whether you're a fan, a coach, or a player, we've got you covered with expert analysis and insider information. So sit back, relax, and get ready for a deep dive into the world of fast pitch softball. This is This Week in Fast Pitch, powered by SixFour3, with your hosts, Jimmy Thomas and Kevin Bednowski. All right. We are here for a super special edition of This Week in Fast Pitch. As always, I am surrounded by
talent,
the giant teddy bear himself, Coach Jimmy Thomas.
That was kind of nice.
I know, right?
The giant teddy bear.
I was kind of including myself in that.
And the man behind the glass, co-founder SixFour3, Mr. Matt Cook.
Good to be here as always.
Awesome. We have an unbelievable guest today that we're going to talk about a whole host of things. She is Ms. Fast Pitch Softball.
Indeed.
And
home run queen.
Yeah, we are so excited to welcome, just an unbelievable talent, an unbelievable person, and an unbelievable ambassador to the game. And with that, her walk-up music, Ms. Jocelyn Alo.
Hey.
Where'd the walk-up song come from?
It's really from the islands. I feel like a lot of people play it as their walk-up songs, more like football players and stuff, or highlight videos. But my dad played it a lot, just growing up and whatever, so I've always heard the song. But then like when I got to college and started having to think about walk-ups or whatever, I was like, ooh, that'd be a really good walk-up song. And like when the beat drops and stuff, that's when I like walk up and I'm like getting in the box and stuff, you know.
Seems like it fits your personality, you know, who you are.
Oh, 100%. But the funny thing is, we never had walk-up songs at OU, so it was for nothing.
Oh, really?
I had all this thought. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Why no walk-up songs, Coach?
At school, Coach Gasso was like, all right, you guys have to earn the walk-up songs. And it was like a thing going on like 10 or 15 years straight that it was like everyone had to get no Fs or Ds, and it had to be above 3.0. And everyone on the team had to do that, and we just could not do it. And she was like, don't worry, it's been going on for like 20 plus years. No one's gotten walk-up songs. And I'm like, okay, sounds good. So all the Lauren Chamberlains, the Kaylanis, they never had walk-up songs either.
Wow.
Yeah, the earning it is really tough at Oklahoma, huh?
Yes.
So do they play them when you play away, or when you're on the road, or at the World Series?
No, we never like ever had walk-up songs. The only time we did was if it was senior day, and they'd only play it for like the seniors, you know. So everyone else didn't get a song, just the seniors.
Nice. Very good.
Are you a game day headset music wear, music in the ears on game day kind of person? Like on the bus, or leading up.
On the bus, yes. But for like warming up and stuff, no. Like just kind of, I'll listen to whatever they're playing on the speakers or whatever, and just kind of lock in more mentally by myself versus like having something on my, I don't know. I can't warm up, like I can't hit with headphones on. I don't know how girls do it.
It's hard to hit bombs with headphones on.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It is.
So you sort of, you talked about your dad and playing that song and playing music. Talk a little bit about the relationship between you and your dad, and growing up in softball, and the importance of the impact that he may have had on your, not just your career, your softball career, but your life and where you are now and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, to be completely honest, my dad is my best friend, and he knows me like the back of my hand. I know him like the back of my hand, and I would say we bounce off of each other really well as far as like personalities go. But he has been a very, very influential person in my life just because he's always been a hustler. Ever, like, even before he had kids and stuff, he would just be like, yeah, I was selling this. I was working FedEx. I was trying to do all these runarounds. So he was just a hustler. He always had that hustler mentality. And when it came time to travel ball and I started getting super good, he was like, all right, like, let's go to the mainline. Let's see like how you play up against these girls. And I ended up like being neck and neck with all of the girls. And he said, all right, like, we're going to really commit to this. So it was my 7th or 8th grade year where he had saved up $10,000 and we went to California. I was a bat buster. Well, I was Team Mizuno first and then we transferred over to bat busters, but I was there the whole summer and I was training every single day. So we'd rent an apartment literally right on Catella Avenue, and it was 2 miles away from our training facility. And we would pay the rent for the 2 months. We would have no furniture in there and literally like air mattresses, folding chairs, and like a couple pans and stuff. And like the bare minimum of what we had. And we were grinding every day. So we would land in Northern California and we'd drive down with my grandparents' car to SoCal. And that was my life every summer. And he continued to save up 10, 15K every summer, you know, and now my sisters are doing the same thing. And he had to save up a little bit more just because I started having my younger sister come with me, but we had actually just dropped her off at Portland State. But yeah, that was kind of my journey, and I wouldn't do it any other way and with any other person. My dad has been there literally every step of the way.
That's incredible.
That's so sweet.
I think awesome. I need to sell my world's best dad mug though. Because not sure I really qualify.
You don't qualify anymore.
No, the bar has
I'm sure
has
you guys qualify.
I think that story really resonates with especially the three of us, but everybody else that comes in and out of 6'4", because when you come in an evening, that's what you see. You see a dad and his daughter. You see a mom and her daughter. And and it's brought us so deep into the sport, right? It's the relationship with our daughters that has made us fall in love with the game, right? Yeah. It's why we're here. So that really resonates with a lot of people, and that's a very cool. Yeah,
story. I think the parents do get just as much and sometimes more enjoyment out of this sport as their kids do. Yeah.
And you wear 78 because of your dad, right?
Yes, it's been a family number. So he had worn 78 because of his uncle, I believe. It was his mom's brother, and then he had ended up passing away. So like the 78 is like engraved on his gravestone. I've never met the guy, but like my dad knew him. 78, it was just pretty much a no-brainer that I was going to be it. Yeah. And there was no other 78 at Oklahoma, so I'm pretty sure there's going to be just 178 at Oklahoma.
That's cool.
I don't think Coach Gasso will let anyone use the number.
Yeah, I think that's pretty safe.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
So I don't know. I know you're following it, but because we're talking about sort of this transition and now Oklahoma and all that kind of stuff. So today is National Signing Day. For hundreds
I remember that.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you about it. For hundreds and hundreds of athletes, and I had a ceremony that I was at this morning for someone, and I'm going after school today for some others, and around the country there's this sort of excitement, and you know, can you talk a little bit about your memories of that day and sort of what it meant to you and where it sort of started the journey for you?
Yes, I remember it a lot. So it was early morning. I think I had to get up at like 5:45 or something. And then I was headed over to the place, and literally all my classmates were there. They were all there. And as soon as I put that pen to paper, I was like, man, the real work starts now. And I had we were taking all the pictures, it was super fun. I was actually sitting next to my pitcher who had went to Hilo. Her name was Danny Cervantes. We played high school together. And then I was sitting next to my baseball pitcher that I used to catch. So he went to the same high school as me, but we played baseball growing up. And dude, man, he would throw like 90 in the dirt, and I'd be over there blocking it. And I'm like, can you get it up now? Can you get it up now? And he was signing to Oregon, and it was just so cool. I remember putting pen to paper and like literally waiting for that moment my whole life, you know. And I didn't know that I was going to end up at Oklahoma when I did. But I would not have my journey any other way. And just one little tidbit for the girls that are signing today, or anyone that is signing today, the real work starts now. And you are now a part of the program that you're signing to. And if you want to exceed at this level that you want to go, you have to really, really put in the work, because all your accolades you had from high school, all your accolades you had from travel ball, that doesn't mean anything when you get to college. You know what I mean? It's a fresh state. All the girls are fighting for a spot, and it's, are you going to sink or are you going to swim? You know? Yeah. So the real work starts now.
Well, that's great advice coming from Jocelyn Alo, because I'm sure coming in as a freshman, you know, probably a lot of the athletes thought you were going to be just fine coming on in, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to work. Doesn't matter who you are.
It was pretty nerve-wracking too. I remember like coming in that first day, and I was like, oh, I don't know. And then I had kind of seen all the other girls hitting off of the tees, and I was like, oh, I'm going to start.
Is the story true that you were offered a camp in the 7th grade at like BYU?
Yes, it was. Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
I know you can't do that now, but that's wild.
I know. It was crazy. Like my recruiting process, and then I also got to watch like my sister's recruiting process. I'm watching my younger sister's recruiting process, and I think it's so much better that the rules change, just because. So my story, when I committed, I was 14. I did not know like what I wanted out of life or what I wanted out of school.
Was that to Oklahoma, or was that to?
No, it was to Cal Berkeley.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a completely different school.
Yeah.
And I would say a lot of what went behind that decision was just my parents' influence. It was a quick flight to home, 5 hours, you know. My grandparents, my mom's from the Bay Area actually, and it was like 17 minutes from my grandparents' house, so it was like a no-brainer to go there. And then I got to like my junior summer, kind of going into my senior year, and I was just like, man, I don't really know. And it was a couple months before signing. What month is it? November. I would say it was like August, September of 17, where I was like, I'm not really feeling Cal. And I was talking to my parents about it, and I had made the decision to decommit. And when I decommitted, it's like 2 months before signing. So it's like, wow, I'm really taking that risk, you know? And I ended up calling my travel ball coach, and he had made a couple calls, and my first call was actually Auburn. And it was a cool call, you know, but it wasn't really what we just didn't resonate, you know? And then Oklahoma was my next call. And I was like, oh, you know, they had just come off of winning in 16. And for me, what I wanted out of college that I knew when I was 18 was I wanted to win a national championship, and I wanted to go where I could get my degree for free. And I had gotten way more than that out of Oklahoma, which is great. Yeah. But yeah, so I had taken a visit to Oklahoma. It was September 23rd. It was on my birthday, my 18th birthday, that I committed. And Coach Gasso made me get up in front of the whole team and was like, hey, do you have something you want to tell us? And I was like, I'm going to be a Sooner. Oh, wow. And just
was that your first
going crazy.
Was that your first visit there?
Yes, on my 18th birthday. Yep. I had gone, I'd gone with my dad, obviously. And then for my official visit, I went, with my mom. So she got to see a little bit of Oklahoma too.
Nice.
Right.
Nice. That's very cool.
So what was it like for 4 years playing for Coach Gasso?
5 years. 5 years.
Yes, 5. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man, she just knows how to pull the best out of girls. And she she holds the girls to a really, really high standard. And I think that's why you continue to see Oklahoma winning, and it's because they never settle and they always want more. And there's always more to learn. There's always more to be taught. You know what I mean? And Coach Gasso, she says, when girls come in, they come in as girls and they leave as women. And that is 100% true with everything she says. Like, she teaches us how to become women and how to become businesswomen through softball. And I think that it's such a cool skill that she has, because not a lot of people can do that. But I think the big thing that pulls the girls to Oklahoma is that she cares for them as people before she cares for them as players. So she was always like literally checking up on us, like, hey Josh, you doing good? And she'd make it a point to like have lunch with everyone or dinner, or just invite them over to the house, really making them feel just very welcomed, and very heard, very seen. And you can tell, like, the girls, the alumni now, the relationship that they have with Coach Gasso and just the coaching staff, it's so far beyond softball. And I'm just really, really grateful for Coach Gasso and Oklahoma softball. And I feel like I say this all the time, but like, I truly, truly am. And they have, they've just made me step up my game in so much more aspects, like, and not just softball. They made me step up in life. They make me want to be better at everything. And like, I see them doing something good, I'm like, all right, like, what's that for me,
Mm-hmm.
And it's so welcoming every time I go back. And
That's
yeah,
awesome.
Coach Gassel's just the best.
Well, I read a little bit. Oh, sorry, Matt. It seems like she asks you guys to step out of your comfort zone, I guess, and because of who she is, I mean, that's okay. You guys have the respect. You'll do anything that she asks. But if I'm not mistaken, I read a little bit. You caught in high school, but you were a DP in travel ball, right? You were known as just a kind of a big hitter, and then
100%.
Yeah, and then you went to Oklahoma, and she asked you to play a little outfield, right?
Yep, she did. And lo and behold, I think outfield was my calling for sure. But
I'm sure a lot of high level recruits come in and say, hey, this is my position. This is what I'm going to do here. And Patty Gasso has that, that level of respect where she's like, hey, Jocelyn Alo, you're going to play a little outfield. And you're like, you got it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Girls do have that when they come in. They're like, oh, like, I'm a shortstop and I'm only a shortstop. And then they don't find themselves playing anywhere else but shortstop. And that just kind of limits your playing time. You know what I mean? So I went up to Coach Gasso and I said, wherever you need me to play, whatever you need me to do, I'm going to do it. All right. And then I had gone to our hitting coach, JT, and I said, look, I want to be the best, and I feel like I could do some really, really great things, and your swing is my swing. And how can we make this work? How can you make me better? And we have a really, really great relationship. Me and JT, we still text all the time and stuff. He's a really, really cool dude. But he helped me just propel my game, and kind of like how I thought of myself when I got to college. Like, I had all the working pieces. I knew my foundation, but so I thought of myself as like, and this is kind of really stupid, but I thought of myself as like a Lambo, and like, you already got the Lambo, you know what I mean? And it's like JT coming in, like, how can he make that Lambo better? Put some tint, put some sounds in it, something like that, and he has completely changed my swing for the good. And I think now that I'm in my professional career, we still talk and stuff, but now I'm in that phase, like, how can I just continue to up and up my game? And it's cool now on the professional side of things, just kind of really learning stuff for yourself, I would say. But I learn a lot from the players, and it's cool to see all the girls from different walks of softball and different college experiences, and just really like honing in on their IQs and like, how can I learn from these girls too?
There's some huge messages right there, right? Yeah. One, when you're going to a school, go to a place where you can communicate and feel comfortable with your coaches, where you can go and have conversations like you just spoke about with your hitting coach or your head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and what's fascinating to me is the decision that was made before that in 2017 to trust her intuition to not go to
Right.
a place you'd already committed to, right? Like
Right.
trust your instincts, trust yourself, and make decisions for you. And that, imagine if you don't make that decision, maybe you're still the home run queen. I don't know if you go to a different
Right.
place, but you don't get with Gas or you don't get with JT, right? You don't have those experiences. So I don't know. I think that's a pretty big move
too, right? It's like, I know I'm great. I got a scholarship to go play at Oklahoma, the best program in the country, but I'm still asking for their coaches to make me better, to mold me into something different.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's a great message.
Yeah.
You mentioned one thing when you were talking about Coach Gasso and during, sort of your 5 years there, and said, it wasn't just about the on-field stuff. It was about preparing you for life after, right? And the business side. At what point during your softball career at Oklahoma did you know that you wanted to make softball your professional life? Not just playing, but your business, right? Your brand, your business. What was that evolution? Because we want to start talking about the heavy hitters and the tour that you're on,
Right.
and you're coming to see us next weekend, which we're so excited about. But, where were you in that process when you started to think, oh, wait a minute, softball's going to be part of who I am for more than just this playing time?
I have always had an knack for teaching the game. And just because I feel like the internet has taken such a toll on this generation of players that they're not utilizing it to the best of their ability. And I try to tell these girls at the camps, I'm like, look, I know you spend all day on your phone because I spend all day on my phone. And one thing you can do instead of taking an hour to learn a TikTok dance is you can watch a softball game and you can learn the IQs and you can watch how they're setting up. What do you think this pitcher's thinking right now? What's the hitter thinking right now? What's the situation like? What do you think this team is trying to do? How is this other team trying to counter it? And there's so much little questions that the girls don't ask. And I feel like that's kind of the part that they're missing is they can watch the game all they want, but are they actually taking in information as they're watching it, or are they just blindly watching it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as far as my professional career and this heavy hitters tour, I'm super, super excited for it just because I had known that I always had an knack for teaching, and I feel like this is the best way to do so as far as trying to get my point of view of softball out to the next generation. And I know that professional softball is definitely not where it needs to be, but I know that it's trending, and it might not get to where I know that it can be while I'm still playing, but how can I make it the best for the future girls? And how can I just instill the knowledge of the game into these girls? Because at the end of the day, they're the next ones that are going to be playing, They're going to be the ones at the World Series. They're going to be the ones playing professionally. They're going to be hopefully the next MOB, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And how can I just instill all that power, all that confidence, all that knowledge into these girls? And I feel like this tour is the best way to do that because I'm hitting all parts of the United States. And really seeing different athletes of girls, seeing girls from all different walks of life. And we all just come together through softball. And it's so cool, and that's just, I feel like I really started to recognize that softball was going to be my professional career when I probably was a junior maybe. And that's kind of really when I started seeing the older classes go, like the Kaylee Cliftons, the Sydney Romeros, the Shayna Inns. I kind of had seen all of the Paige Parkers, Paige Lowrys, all of those girls, watching them actually do it. Because when I came in my freshman year, I didn't know professional softball was a thing, And to actually see those girls go on and do it and be successful was something that I definitely looked forward to. And just with the career that I had, it was pretty much a no-brainer that I was going to go play professional. And I still love the game for what it is, and I want to play it as long as I can,
As well you should.
Yeah.
As well you should.
And so after that, and I had another question about heavy hitters, but just since you left off there, let's say there is a period of time where the playing days end. Do you see yourself coaching?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see yourself sort of behind a desk? What comes after that?
I could definitely see myself coaching. What I had kind of looked at it as is I just want to play as long as I can right now because I can always fall back on coaching later.
Yeah.
And right now I'm just kind of still trying to learn, still trying to see like how I want to take on my professional career and like if there's other avenues, you know. I'm thinking about playing overseas possibly. So there's always that option. But yeah, I really just want to enjoy softball for what it is now, but I could definitely see myself coaching later.
Well, and like you said, with heavy hitters,
Maybe winning a natty, you know.
yeah, it seems as though with heavy hitters, you get to touch a lot of people, right? You're traveling around. That's got to be fun. You know, you're seeing and meeting a lot of people, and really having a pretty significant impact on the game versus not just coaching, but coaching one team, and you know those girls on that team. You're really sort of spreading your knowledge around, which I think will really kind of help propel the game, which is great.
Yeah, and sticking to
I
heavy.
like to do.
Go ahead.
Sorry, no, go ahead. I was just rambling on.
I was just going to say, sticking to the heavy hitters topic, you know, if I'm an athlete on the fence, you know, kind of describe to me what the camp experience is like and what it might look like if I did come.
Right. So I like to do like 3 hours plus because I feel like hitting is such a complex art that you have to teach almost right along with defense and kind of like the little parts of the game. But I feel like hitting is so complex that I kind of need a lot of time to do it. So I will warm the girls up first and kind of just, you know, get them going. They're all a little bit nervous when I come out, but like I tell them all the time, I'm like, look, girls, I am a normal person too. You guys go to Ulta, I go to Ulta too. You go to Target, I go to Target too. You go to Chick-fil-A, I go to Chick-fil-A too. But I just kind of reiterate to them, like, look, we're here to work. I don't want you guys to be nervous here. Like, let's get it going, you know, let's really lock in. So I'm gonna warm the girls up first. Let's kind of get them moving. And then I'll take them through my hitting warm up that I go through. And I just kind of explain like kind of what I really want them to be feeling. And I tell them all the time, like, I wouldn't tell you to do something that I don't do myself. So I'm not just going to give you these drills and me not do them myself. I work these drills day in and day out. You know what I mean? And then we'll go through a series of different stations. So you're doing a different drill at every station. Again, all these drills I do myself. And I like to run a station myself just because, one, the girls feel a little bit more engaged when they come through the station, I think. And I try to get to at least every single girl, which I do get to every single girl, and just try to give them a little bit of tidbits here and there. And then I like to rotate twice through just because, like, you got to get your hitting reps in, you know. And then after that, I like to play a little bit of a little game called Queen of the Cage. So basically, like, it's just front toss, just easy front toss. But I tell the girls all the time, you get one swing, all right, which means you have to really key in on if it's a ball or strike, if you like the pitch or not. So really trying to take them through the mental side of the game while still having fun. And then I'm the judge, you know, so if you're out, you're out. And I am a hard judge, but I'm a realistic judge too. You know what I mean? So we'll play the game and then I'll be like, all right, girls, the work is over. Who wants to see me drop some bombs? And then I'll go drop some bombs for them. And then I think the most important part of the camp part is the Q&A. And I don't like to put a time limit on Q&A because I will open it up to the parents as well and the players. Again, I'm a good advocate for my dad, so I feel like I can speak for him. So as far as like recruiting process goes, what it is to be a parent of a girl who's going through travel ball, and just for the girls, like, what can they look forward to? What's a normal day at college like really giving them the ins and outs of college softball and just telling them, like, look, it is not easy. Mm-hmm. It's not easy at all, but the reward is so much greater than the process of going through it, you know, and you kind of forget about all the days you had to run 3 miles in the morning or something when you have that national champion, when you're holding up that national championship trophy, you know, there's no better feeling. And once you get a taste of winning, at least from my perspective, you just want more. Yeah. And it's really like, all right, you win one, you dial back, you celebrate all of that. And then it's like, work starts the next day. You know what I mean? It's the journey to that next national championship. And back to the Q&A stuff of side of things, I just like to really have the girls just, look, I'm an open book. I have nothing to hide from you. If you want advice on literally anything in the book, please ask, because you don't get opportunities like this every day where someone like this just rolls into town, you know? And some girls get scared to ask questions, and I'm like, you were scared in the moment, and then you think of you had the question later, but she's gone, you know? So just ask in the moment.
Yeah.
Ask in the moment.
Yeah, that's good advice.
And one of the cool pieces too is you guys don't just try to bring, you know, you're not the show pony that just comes in and say, hey, here's the show. You know, you're bringing in really educated coaches. I know here in Northern Virginia, we're bringing in 5 college coaches from D3 all the way up to D1, which gives the athletes an opportunity for exposure, work out with you. So it's a pretty cool deal. But I think it's important, and me as a dad and someone that might pay for the event or would pay for something similar, you know, that's going to nudge me a little bit, knowing that I can come and learn from you, but also have these college coaches that are going to be reinforcing sort of what your message is, you know, so you get to work with the home run queen, and you get to get a little exposure at the same time.
And the former home run queen too, I believe. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not too shabby.
Yeah. Right.
Right. Yeah. So it's cool. And like, again, Lauren has a whole different experience of softball, and her playing career was so much, like, the time was so much different than my playing career was, you know? So it's literally all different walks of softball, and you don't get an opportunity like that every day. So I tell the girls, like, I don't care how much questions you ask it.
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff.
It would be silly not to take advantage of the opportunity, right?
Yeah. Seems that way.
Yes.
And look, maybe the advice on that is, one of the things that just holds a lot of people back, no matter what, softball or otherwise, is fear, right? So how do we remove that fear from what are the age, you know, we're going to have 14-year-old or 13-year-old. There's going to be wide range of young women that are there. So how do you know, they've got to check the fear at the door. Right. Yeah. So we want to, you know, and just by spending the last half an hour with you, we can tell that your personality is going to hopefully allay a lot of that fear, and you're going to make them you know, at ease as well. So we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Lauren's a really fun person to be around too. Like, she's a jokester, so she's going to bring a lot out of the kids too, which I think, like, we balance off each other well, because sometimes, like, I'll be a little, like, hard-headed, like, come on girls, like, let's go. And Lauren's like, come on, like, let's go, come on.
Well, you always have to have a balance. That's good.
Right.
So speaking of fun, well, you know, you talked about going to Alta and Target, but what do you do for fun? What's happening when hitting cage bombs and real bombs don't happen? What is Jocelyn Alo doing?
Yeah, I am a huge makeup girly. I love to do my makeup. I just love all parts about being a girl. I love going and getting your hair done. I love putting my makeup on. I like dressing up. I really just like I'm a girly girl outside of softball. I like to get my nails done, all of that. Besides, like, maintaining my looks, I like to be outside. I like to spend time at the beach, even though there's no beaches in Texas, but it's okay. Me and my boyfriend like to spend a lot of time together, just kind of just going on dates and stuff. And it's cool to see his perspective too, because he is a professional athlete as well. He actually won the Super Bowl with the Rams.
Oh, right.
And
nice.
He is still in his NFL career. So it's cool to see, like, the differences from the NFL versus, like, the pro side of softball. And, like, he's the hugest fan of softball you'll ever meet now.
That's awesome.
And he'll tell you too, he was never a fan of softball. And I was like, look, I made you a fan, didn't I?
I think we may have seen him drop you off some Chick-fil-A or something earlier.
Chick-fil-A, yeah.
Well, that's a good transition, being that softball and flag football are now coming to the 2028 Olympics, right? Yeah. So I know softball's in, and I know on the football side, they're excited that they got flag football finally in. So let's talk about that a little bit. What happened? What was Jocelyn Alo's reaction when you saw that news come across that softball's back in?
I was so excited, just because I had my first glimpse of USA, like actually playing for USA, in 22. That was my first tournament with them. And we were in Canada, and man, I went off, and I was like, this is where I need to be. And playing for your country and representing your country is just, it's a different feeling, you know, when you win. And that's just kind of my one last thing of accomplishment that I have to check off of my box is a gold medal for USA. And I literally, once I saw the news, I was like, gosh, it's so close. Like it's gonna happen, and it's gonna happen on our turf. And I just feel like after losing in Japan to Japan in 2020, it's like, how can we get back there, and how can we just make it right, you know? And hopefully for me to be a part of that is going to be insane, and I'll be 30 by then. So I'll hit my prime in softball. I'm going to still be playing. I don't care what anyone says. I'm going to be playing.
You pick up the phone.
I have to play.
Pick up the phone and call Coach Tar and say, I'm in, whatever it takes. I'm in.
Look, they got to send me the email or something. I have to get in. I have to win.
So can you speak to that process a little bit? Do you have any idea how that works? I mean, are there training camps for the next few years leading up to the event, or do they just, you know?
I am not really sure like how it works. One, just because it is so far away. Yeah. So I figured they would start, at least they did this with the 2020 team. They would start training together as a unit probably a year, maybe a year and a half, 2 years out. Yeah. So maybe in like 4 years, they're going to send us an email, something about like Olympic trials and stuff. And I didn't get one for 2020, so I don't really know how the process goes. But for a normal tryout process, you get an email saying like, hey, we've invited you to our training camp. These are the dates. Basically let us know if you can make it or not, if you want to possibly be a part of USA. And then you say like yes to the tryout, then you go, you try out. And it's kind of just kind of really simple stuff. It's like you get your primary position, your secondary, you get like a few fly balls, few ground balls, you know, all the like kind of little fundamental things. And then you really get into the scrimmage aspect of it. So you'll face at least the pitcher once. At this last tryout, I believe they did it where you face the pitcher twice, each pitcher twice. So it's about maybe 15, 17 pitchers. So like you get a good amount of that.
Imagine the collection of talent that's just standing out
like,
there.
It's Montana Foul. It's
Gauntlet.
Kat Osterman. It's Monica Abbott. It's Megan Faremo. It's the best of the best competing. So it's a really, really cool experience being there. It's definitely a grind having to go through a tryout and stuff. But once the tryout is over, they'll email you the next day with the roster basically saying if you've made it or not. And then you just kind of see if you made it.
Yeah. So you rattled off those names. So other than when you were inter-squad scrimmaging yourselves, who was the toughest pitcher that you had to face?
Toughest pitcher ever, hands down, Jordy Ball.
Okay.
Wow.
Hands down.
Okay.
She's definitely gonna be on the Olympic team if she wants to keep playing by then, which I definitely hope she does. But man, our battles at practice were epic, and just for her to be a freshman still at the time and me being a super senior, we called it.
Right.
We helped each other so much, and she was like, why would you swing at that? Why wouldn't you swing at that? And all of that. And we'd really just be asking a lot of questions to each other.
Awesome.
But she can throw you a drop ball coming at 75. She can spin it up at 75, and then she'll drop it down to 60 for a changeup. She's insane.
That's crazy.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know?
No kidding.
She's so good.
I'd love to hear those conversations back and forth. That'd be great. Yeah.
Just be sitting on a bucket and watching.
Why didn't you swing at that?
Little
Be a
dugout,
fly on the wall.
little dugout chatter afterwards, right?
Right.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. So we just sort of final plug for our event, right? So we're I don't know when you're flying in or not, but we're excited to see you on Friday night for our VIP event. And then for 2 sessions with all the young ladies on Saturday. We've got the morning session and then the afternoon session. I believe we have a couple of spaces still available. So when we wrap this all up, we'll make sure when we send this podcast out that we give the links and all that kind of stuff for registration. But we're excited to have your brand of hitting and your brand of teaching come to 643 and invite you into our facility. We'd love to give you a little tour around as well, so you get what you're working with.
I am excited for Virginia.
Cool.
I'm pumped.
Yeah. By the way, softball in Virginia right now, pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Dude,
pretty darn good.
I actually have a friend. Her name is Kate Short, and she
Yes,
played.
I know
Well, it
Kate.
was Kate Gordon.
Yes.
At school.
We know Kate very
But
well.
she's a great girl. So we played pro together for Vipers.
Yes.
And then
As a
played
matter-
against her at JMU.
so as
when
a
she
matter
hit,
of
like
fact-
2 3-run bombs off of
Yes.
us.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, so we know Kate very well. As a matter of fact, I coached Kate's younger sister for a hot second. She's now at Penn State. And
At Penn State, right? Yeah.
Maddie. And so was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago? 2 years ago, 3 years ago. You were at the Alliance. You were at the Alliance, yes, and you and your sister were both hitting, right? There was a little sort of, and then you guys did a little hitting. Didn't you do a little hitting competition and you brought out some of your professional folks?
Yeah, I did one against
the winner,
a girl from another team. It wasn't my sister.
Yeah, it was the winner of like the 18U home run derby or something like
Yes.
that, right? Yeah.
Yes.
That was pretty fun. That was
Nice.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Kate is a good friend.
She's been in the building a number of times.
We should invite her to the VIP session on Friday
Well,
night.
she's a new mom.
Oh,
Kate's,
I know.
Kate's a new mom.
She's probably like just tired, but I know. I told her, I texted her, and I said I'm gonna see her, so I'm definitely gonna go see her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I heard softball in Virginia is popping. My friend Keely Rochard is actually from out there too, and I'm like,
she's been in here
dude,
also.
you guys have a good ass group of girls coming out from out of there.
Yeah,
Good for you.
Keely's been in a few times. She's great. We'd love to have her back.
Yeah.
It's fun, and of course, and we have, Kat Sandercock works out of ours, and Odyssey works
Oh my
out
gosh,
of
yeah.
the facility
I played
as well.
with
So,
her, played with all of them this past summer, and then Kat on USA too.
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we really are really pumped to have you this coming weekend, next weekend, and we're excited the wisdom that you're going to impart upon all these young ladies,
Yes.
and the fun that they're going to have, and the information that they're going to learn is just going to be off the charts. So
Yeah.
we certainly appreciate
It'll
it.
be information overload, but in the best way possible.
Yeah.
Well, we're so appreciative to have you here with us today, and looking forward to next weekend. Were you going to say something, Jimmy?
No, just excited to meet you. And to all of you listeners out there, November 17th, November 18th, come to the Heavy Hitters Clinic because it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come to the party.
That's
We're
right.
gonna have some fun.
Do you know this song?
I do. Look, I got my Sooner shirt.
There you go. Very
So
good.
from all of us at This Week in Fast Pitch, as well as from 643, no matter where you are, what you're doing, live life like a 3-1 count. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks,
Take
Jocelyn.
care, Jocelyn.